I think this is going to be a really fun project. I can't wait to see how it turns out. Welcome back. It's a beautiful winter day here. Great day to get started on the spiral stairs. Part 1 will be going to the lumber pile, picking out a center post, laying it out, and we'll be roughing in the stairs. Let's get started. Well, I found the perfect log. It's got a little bit of character. Let's get it in the cabin. We'll start stripping the bark. To strip the bark, I'm using a draw plane and a chisel. After a couple hours of peeling the bark, here it is, ready to go. I chose this log because it was fairly straight, and I loved the knots in it. I found a calculator online for building spiral stairs. My spiral stairs are going to be about a 270-degree turn from the beginning to the end, and each stair tread is going to be 22.5 degrees. I'm going to achieve this by marking it at the end of the log and putting kerfs at each end. That way I can snap a chalk line from one end to the other as I make my cuts, so I can turn around this log uniformly. This is what each end looked like after kerfing. Using these kerfs, it's time to chalk the first line for the first step. The total rise of my stairs is 8 foot 3/4 of an inch. Dividing 13 risers into that, I came up with a rise of each stair tread to be 7 7/16 inches. I put together this jig so each cut would line up properly and be uniform. So this is the jig. It's 2 inches wide. I use a shingle on each side for the saw to slide by. I put a line that lines up with the chalk line for each one. And then I put this board here at 90 degrees to keep everything square. After making multiple cuts in each stair tread, I'm going to use my mallet and chisel to remove the wood to make a notch for each stair tread to sit in. By doing this, I think we'll add strength to each step. Before losing the chalk lines, I'm going to mark the center of each one of these notches, and then use a fastener bit to mark a pilot hole where each tenon of the stair tread will go. I'll be drilling these pilot holes deeper later on in the video, but for now I just wanted to mark the centers. That way I didn't lose them. So we got all the notches cut. Now I got the post sitting over that piece of rebar we had in the slab with a hole drilled in the middle to hold it in place. Ready to start making the treads. Now that I've made a few, let me walk you through what I've been doing. I'm marking the center of the tenon at 4 inches, so I'm marking 3 and 5 to make it 2 inches wide. It's going to be 2.5 inches deep. I'll use a circular saw to cut out these notches. Now that I got the treads notched, I'm going to use a tenon cutter used for log furniture. This one's 1.5 inches in diameter and cuts just like a pencil sharpener. So after using the tenon cutter, I'm going to use a chisel to clean them up a little bit because they leave ridges with the drill. At the end of where it drills, it leaves a taper. I'm also going to clean those up with the chisel as well. Okay, here's what it looks like, all cleaned up. Let's see how it fits. After installing it, there's a 1/4 inch gap up here in the front. So I'm going to take and mark the back side of it. We're going to take a little bit out of it to tighten up the front. Now that we took a little bit out, let's see how it fits. That's a little better. I'm drilling the holes a 1/4 inch deeper than my tenons. My tenons are 2.5 inches, so I'm drilling them 2 3/4 inches deep. To get it to the correct depth, I'm using the depth gauge on the drill. And we'll keep repeating this process for every tread. Alright, we got another tread ready. Let's see how this one fits. This one seems to be a little bit tight. So let's trim her up a little bit. That looks a little better. So here's what they're looking like so far. Not looking too bad, if I do say so myself. Looks like we had a visitor overnight, storing a nut in one of these notches. Here we are a little bit farther. I've got some of the treads up against the wall. In order to do this and still use the tenons, I had to leave my center post loose and not fastened securely so I could twist it to put the treads in and out. I'll be leaving it loose until the end of the project, after I get everything glued in place. Okay guys, well I'm really excited about the way this rustic staircase is coming out. So far, we've got everything roughed in, all except for the top landing spot up there. Next time we come back, we're going to start cutting these treads to length. As you can see, they're all going to be uniform length. I've got one kind of marked out there, making it look so it goes up in a spiral formation. We got to change some framing up here a little bit so we can walk up through there. We're going to take out a little bit of the roughness so when we go to finish it and want to sweep the steps later, we can clean it easily. And we'll get everything glued in next time we come back. Maybe get started a little bit on the handrail. I've got some ideas on how we're going to do that and how we're going to shape it. So remember, click subscribe, like it if you like these videos, comment. Have any ideas? let me know. I mean, this project wouldn't have come about without my wife suggesting to make a spiral staircase out of wood and challenging me to do it. This is nothing that I've ever done before. I've done a lot of construction, being a carpenter by trade. It's a little unorthodox build, but I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you join me. Thanks, guys.